All right, today we're talking about something pretty wild. It's a new kind of AI that doesn't just, spit out answers based on its training. No, this AI actually learns on the job. It gets smarter while it's trying to solve a problem. And the results? Well, they're kind of mind-blowing. Let's dive in. So let me ask you something. Think back to school, maybe college. What was the toughest assignment you ever got? I'm talking about the one where the textbook was basically useless and you were completely on your own. How'd you even start to solve it? Because, that exact problem, that's one of the biggest challenges for AI, too.
You probably didn't just start guessing wildly, right? No, you try an approach, it wouldn't work, you try something else, maybe that would fail too. But then you'd find a little piece that worked, a small breakthrough, and you'd learn from that. Each attempt, each mistake, it made your next try just a little bit better. Well, that whole process, that's exactly what we're talking about today.
Okay, so what is AI's version of that impossible assignment? It's scientific discovery. I mean, think about it. A real discovery isn't just something the AI hasn't seen before. It's something no human has ever seen before. It's the ultimate test, a problem that is completely outside of everything it was ever trained on.
So, how have we tried to get AI to do this in the past? Well, the old way is basically brute force. You take an AI model that's frozen, it can't learn anymore, and you just have it make tons and tons of guesses. It's like that student just randomly filling in bubbles on a test, hoping to get lucky. But the new way? It's called test time training, and it's a total game changer. The AI isn't frozen. It's alive. It keeps learning and updating itself during the test, using its own attempts to figure out the problem right then and there.
And the specific method that pulls this off is called TTT-Discover. That stands for, you guessed it, test time training to discover. Now, it uses something called reinforcement learning. But here's the twist. It's not trying to get good at solving problems in general. It focuses all of its energy, all of its learning power on one single, specific problem until it cracks it. It's a specialist, laser-focused on finding that one breakthrough solution.
Okay, so how does it actually do that? What's the secret sauce that makes it so much better than just guessing smarter? Well, it really boils down to two clever strategies. First up is something called the entropic objective. Now, that sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Most AI tries to find lots of pretty good answers. This AI doesn't care about that. It's hunting for the one single best answer, even if it has to take some big risks to find it. It's all or nothing. The second trick is brilliant. Imagine you're a mountain climber. You wouldn't go back to the bottom of the mountain every single time you wanted to try a new path, right? Of course not. You'd start from your highest camp. That's what the AI does. It reuses its best attempts as starting points, letting it build on its own successes to reach even greater heights. The researchers behind this put it perfectly. They said the goal is to produce one great solution rather than many good ones on average. Just let that sink in for a second. Standard AI is all about being reliable, being pretty good most of the time. This is about being a genius, finding that one world-changing answer.
Okay, so the theory is cool, the strategy is clever, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's get to the results, because this is where things go from interesting idea to, whoa, this is a record-breaking machine.
First, let's take a look at a really tough math problem. I'm talking about a challenge that's been stumping mathematicians for over 60 years, ever since it was posed by the legendary Paul Erdos back in 1955.
So on this problem, a lower score is better. Check this out. The best human result was the record for ages. Then another top AI came along and beat it, but just barely. But then TTT-Discover comes in and just smashes the record. And here's the really cool part. It didn't just get a better score. It found a totally new kind of answer, a weird, complex, 600-piece solution that looked nothing like what humans had come up with before.
All right, from super abstract math, let's jump to something that affects pretty much all of us, making AI faster. We're talking about optimizing the low-level code that runs on GPUs. If you can make that code faster, every AI application gets better and more efficient.
So they put it to the test in a public competition. The best code from a human expert, it ran in about 1,371 microseconds. The code that TTT-Discover wrote, just 1,161 microseconds. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but in the world of high-performance computing, that is a huge leap. And it did it by finding these really clever programming tricks that even the human experts missed. And they weren't done yet. For the final test, they threw it into the deep end, the world of competitive programming. This time, it wasn't just optimizing code.
It had to invent a whole new algorithm from scratch to solve a super complex problem. So this was a big competition, the @Coder heuristic contest. Higher score wins. The top human programmer, the first place winner, scored 566,997. So how did TT-Discover's algorithm do? It scored 567,062. It would have won the whole thing. It literally designed a better algorithm than the best human competitor out of hundreds of experts.
So, yeah, the results are just incredible. A math world record, faster code, a winning algorithm. But honestly, that's not even the most mind-blowing part of this story. How it did all this? Now, that might be the real revolution here.
Because here's the kicker. This wasn't done with some secret billion-dollar frontier model that only one company has access to. Nope. They used an open-source model. The code they wrote is public. Anyone can go and replicate these exact results. And maybe the most surprising part of all, it was cheap. Like really, really cheap. Get this. To do one of these runs, to break one of these world records, it cost about $500. Just let that sink in. For the price of a new PlayStation, this thing broke a math problem that stood for over 60 years. And that is the real story here. This isn't about AI just getting bigger and more powerful. It's about it getting smarter and more efficient. It's a method that makes world-class scientific discovery accessible to almost anyone, not just giant labs with massive budgets. This could literally democratize discovery.
Which really just leaves us with one big, exciting question. If an AI can teach itself to break world records on the job for just a few $100, what huge scientific problem is it going to learn to solve next?